So, what is going on? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard tonight's edition of Postal Nation. I didn't even want to have to do this video, this message, this communication to all of you. I'm traveling, I'm working, I'm getting my book done, we're getting the documentary done. And I sign in on Twitter and I see what is going on in Louisville. And didn't they tell me 2 days ago that Louisville was going to go on lockdown because they knew there was an announcement coming out? 2 days ago. You had 48 hours to prepare. You had 48 hours to prepare for this. And then within minutes of the announcement in Louisville, there are organized anarchist groups taking to the streets in one of America's cities, in Kentucky. And meanwhile, Chris Wray is up there in Washington doing God knows what. Someone please explain to me what Chris Wray is doing, the head of our FBI. One cop shot, two cops shot. I'm now seeing reports, I'm seeing comments that I can't verify that there may have been more. And who knows? The night is still going. The night is still happening. Who knows what's going on? This is your job. This is your job, Chris Wray. This is your job. And you failed. You failed our country. You failed this government. You failed our citizens. You've completely failed. You wanted to play politics. You wanted to play politics, and you wanted to talk about all the things that the senators wanted to hear. You tried to play nice with the left, with the right. You wanted to, not be, I'm just a good guy. Nobody cares anymore, Chris Wray. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. You've done nothing to stop this. You've done absolutely nothing, because everybody knows that Barr is the only driving force right there. And Chad Wolf, we'll talk about Chad Wolf, but I'm taking a little bit of this off of him right now because people are saying that his words were taken out of context. And so I'm going to dig in on that later. So Chad Wolf isn't off the hook yet. But Chris Wray, like in an honor culture, okay? In an honor culture, in a culture where you are judged based on your honor. Like in the past, when you were judged on your honor, when your honor was when you were a man of your word, when you were a man of your word, and it was proven that you were so incredibly wrong that you brought shame to yourself because you were not able to perform your duty, because you were not able to uphold your obligations, that you were unable to keep your oath to these people, to the people of this country, you'd resign and that's just fact. And anyone can fact check me on that. But in an honor society, an honor-based society in the past, he would have resigned by now. He would have stepped down. He would have stepped down and said, you know what? I can't do this. I can't do this. And he would have said that. And he wouldn't have made it a situation for the president like this 40 plus days away from the election, where now it's almost like, what do you do, right? Almost, like, what do you even do? Because, even if you were to step down, it may not look good for the president. But it also doesn't matter because he's not doing his job, because he's just not doing his job. And at that point, I'm saying, you know what? Whatever. Whatever. It's Donald Trump. It's already kind of priced in that he fires people, right? It's catchphrase. You're fired, right? That if you don't do your job, you're fired. And as far as Governor Bashir, the liar, Governor Bashir is just as bad, because Governor Bashir said that he was going to call in the National Guard, but he only called in a few. I can't even tell how many units he called in there, but it clearly wasn't enough. Just protect your city. It's just basic stuff, folks. It's basic. This is the social compact. The social compact. Government exists because of our shared collective interest in public safety. That's number one. It's literally number one. Literally number one. National security and domestic security. All right? This is what David Ben-Gurion used to talk about this. He said that if you do not have security, if you don't know who Ben-Gurion is, you need to go look it up because you're uneducated. You need to go look it up. And he said, if you do not have security, then why are you even talking about any other issues? How can you even talk about other issues if you don't have security? How can you talk about education? How can you talk about healthcare? How can you talk about economy, taxes, if you don't have security, if you don't have law and order in your country? That was a leader. Ben-Gurion was a leader. People like Chris Wray, people like Andy Bashir, they're not leaders. They're politicians. And the politicians have got to go. Ted Wheeler, Jenny Durkin, who belongs in jail, Bill de Blasio. Get rid of the politicians and get me some leaders. Literally. Like, go find, you could probably go find, and here's the thing, a lot of the people at the FBI, a lot of the agents, the rank and file agents, the guys who are actually, the boots, not the suits, they would love to be able to do their jobs. They would love to be able to actually go after these groups, these organizations, these cells that are perpetuating violence. Right? They would love to. They would absolutely love to. But Chris Wray doesn't care about that, because Chris Wray wants to play politics. He's worried about his legacy. He wants to write some books. He wants to, go get that corporate money when he's done. He wants to go on the talk circuit. Because remember, James Comey didn't make it there. James Comey didn't quite make it to the talk circuit. Comey is back into the corporate world. Don't get me wrong, he is. But Comey wanted to get on that talk circuit where that money is, that big money. And being able to go around the world talking about national security, giving speeches. Someone say Savannah Hernandez was just attacked. Jeez. Please say a prayer for everybody who's out there tonight. I didn't even realize Savannah was out tonight. I didn't even realize that. Or is she in Austin? Because it started in Louisville, but it's going nationwide now. It's going nationwide. Get off, honestly, get off the streets. I'm telling you right now, if you're out there, stop. Just get out. Get off the streets. Just get off the streets. Just get off the street. I'd go inside, be in a vehicle and park the vehicle. Just get out. Just pull it right now. This is it. Just get out. Don't be there. I've been telling my followers for a very long time to get out of cities, and I'm saying it again, just don't be there, right? What's the best way to get out? What is the best way to get out of a bad situation? What's the best way to get out of a bad situation? Don't be there in the first place. Don't be there in the first place, right? Talk to anyone in special forces, talk to the operators, talk to shooters. They'll tell you straight up. Best way to get out, of a bad tactical situation is don't be there in the first place. Right. Right. And I feel for it. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I feel for the people that are out there doing guerrilla journalism, that are putting themselves in harm's way, but the security situation has deteriorated to such a point in this country that it is not safe to do journalism. It is not safe to be out there because we have politicians. We don't have leaders. We have people like Wray, who wants to be a politician. And doesn't go out there. And I see some people mentioning, they're saying some other names to me about, you got to be very careful, folks. You got to be very careful, because there's people on Twitter who steal videos from the guerrilla journalists. They steal them from the guerrilla journalists and don't give them credit, right? So they can get the retweets themselves. They refuse to actually retweet them. They refuse to retweet people, and they'll just steal the videos and put it on their own Twitter so they get the retweets and they get the accolades. So just not, basic Twitter etiquette, not cool, but definitely not cool when people think that you're the one out there that's actually doing this stuff. Instead of just retweet. It's not hard. It's right there. It's a free button. Boom, retweet. Boom, retweet. Everybody knows that Poso is, I try to be as generous as possible with my account. I really do. I really try to help out the little guys. If I see somebody who's got, 1,000 followers, 2,000 followers, but they're grinding, they're hitting it, they're on the pavement, they're getting facts, they're getting footage, boom, I'll hit that retweet all day long. All day long, we'll hit that retweet, right? But don't be one of those people that's because if you're just using somebody for that, then you're exploiting people. You don't want to exploit people. You're exploiting someone else's work. You're passing off of your own, right? You can't do that. Yeah, I even apologized once. I even had to apologize once to Elijah Schaffer, and I said this to him, and I went up to him and I apologized, because there was a video. He and I were both at Chaz together, and what I was doing was I was retweeting his videos, but sometimes I would, after retweeting his, I would embed one and then add my own comment. Well, I embedded one and added my own comment, and Donald Trump, President of the United States, retweeted mine, but it was actually Elijah Schaffer's video. I went up to him man to man in person and apologized to him for that. Even though I had given him the retweet, that was still his video, and I felt bad that Trump retweeted mine and not his. So I went up to him as a man and I apologized for that, because that's what you do. You go man to man. You just do that, right? And you just do that. It's part of being professional. It's part of operating in this space. It's part of operating and showing how it works, right? It's about the message. It's not about the messenger. It's about the message. It's not about the messenger. You understand that? You understand how that works? All right. Now, moving forward. Wray, you need to be gone. You need to be not there. You need to pack your bags. I haven't found someone saying there's an officer in surgery already. Good Lord. On the streets of an American city. Louisville, Kentucky. Like the baseball bats, right? This is our heartland we're talking about. No, we can't have this. Here's the problem, folks. Here's the problem. They knew that tonight would happen. Everybody in the country knew that Louisville was going to be a war zone tonight. Everybody knew that. And because Wray knew, this wasn't a random, spontaneous act. You should have been running operations for weeks trying to understand what's going on down there. Everybody's telling me to say it Louisville. All right, look, I'm from Pennsylvania, okay? We say Louisville. All right, do you really want me to say Louisville? Do you really want me to say Louisville? Fine. I see. Here's the thing. No, here's the thing. Is I thought if I was saying Louisville as a person from Pennsylvania, would that I wouldn't know if that was cultural appropriation. See, I didn't want to commit cultural appropriation, so I was saying it the way that we say it in my culture. Now people are saying don't say it. Now you're saying different things. Louisville, Lovell, Lulville. Now you're messing me up. Now you're totally messing me up. Yeah, see someone else there from Pennsylvania, and she says that's how they say it. I can spell. Louisville. Louisville. All right. The point is that this was known. The FBI should have had people in there from Louisville running operations, finding out who was planning stuff, finding out who was getting in there, finding out who was going to be violent, tracking them, paying attention. You should have had embeds, sources, CIs, all of this stuff. You should have had all of that. But from what I've seen, nothing. Nothing. My last name is Posobic. That's why I go by Poso. Where were the CIs? Where were the CIs? Where was the SIGINT? This is why we have an intelligence community and a national security infrastructure, right? This is why we have all these things. But you can't, so you got to go. You got to pack your bags. You got to arrivederci. In Chinese, you would say "Qiao you yu." "Qiao you." If anyone's Chinese, you know that one, and you'd be surprised I know that slang in Chinese. Yeah, in Mandarin, "Qiao you." There's no OPSEC, right? Someone just said there's no OPSEC. I know, right? This would be the easiest operation plan. The easiest operation plan. It was so simple. "Qiao you" for Chris Wray. "Qiao you." It means fried octopus. It means you're a fried octopus. Chris Wray, you are a fried octopus. "Qiao you." That's what we say in Chinese. Look it up if you want to find out what that means. Get him out. Fried octopus. Get him out. He's done. And that's it. That's it. Like, I don't even really know what else to say on this Periscope other than our cities are going to keep burning because there's going to be more of these announcements coming out. Keep in mind that we've still got the entire Kyle Rittenhouse case, which is probably going to go longer than the election. We're going to have the George Floyd case. Well, not the George Floyd case, but the case against the officers in the George Floyd death and the arrest. Jacob Blake. We're going to have the Jacob Blake. We're going to have Rayshard Brooks down in Atlanta. I'm trying to do my best. I can remember a lot of these. I just said Kyle Rittenhouse. What about Kyle Rittenhouse? I just said it. Kyle Rittenhouse has his extradition hearing on Friday. So every single times. Oh yeah, Arbery down in Georgia. Remember that he was jogging. Remember jogging in Georgia? That was one of the early ones in 2020. So every time something happens, that there's a decision that people don't like, is there going to be another attack? Yeah, Rochester. Got Rochester. Is there going to be another one of these? Lancaster, Pennsylvania. That one I can say right. That one, Lancaster, I can say right because all y'all were saying Lancaster wrong. I heard people saying Lancaster. Lancaster, please. Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Like a kiss. You say it like a kiss. You say it like it's a kiss. It's got a kiss in it. Lancaster. Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Get it right. It's just very sad. It's very sad. It's very sad to see this, but it's also very sad for somebody like me who knows about this, who's watching it, someone who's served in the intelligence community, served as a military officer, understands the programs that we have, the capabilities that we have, and to see them not used or utilized, and instead you see these just bizarre conspiracies and these assessments that don't go anywhere out of the intel community coming while we have cities burning in the United States. And what's it going to be every night now? No, no. Chris Wray, you're out. Get Chris Wray out, ask Barr who he wants in there, and then boom. Then we can have somebody who actually cares about law and order. Because Chris Wray cares about politics, right? He is a politician. He's not a leader. Would Trump fire Wray this close to election? Go for it. That's what I'm saying. Go for it. Just do it. You can always fire someone for being useless. You can always fire someone for failure. If you're firing someone for failure, right? For failing to uphold your duty, for failing to perform, you can always do that because it always makes you look strong. When you're firing somebody for not performing, for not doing their job, right? You can literally always do that. Never have a problem with that. You can never. Someone just said John Roberts, and you can't fire John Roberts. That is one of the quirks of our constitutional system. You cannot fire John Roberts. I suppose you could impeach him, but that's pretty high bar. You could impeach him, but no. Someone said Rick Grinnell. I don't know. Go ask Barr who he wants. But that's really basically where I'm at. Is somebody needs to be fired. Somebody needs to be fired for this failure. And when I'm looking around and I see Chris Wray, who's done nothing about this threat, then yeah, it's got to be Chris. And by the way, that intel that the FBI is generating could have been provided to local police officers. It could have been provided to state troopers. It could be provided to the National Guard. I mean, there's no law enforcement sensitive material can be shared with anybody that it directly impacts, right? You can make it releasable, right? I'm talking a little bit intel lingo here, but you can make it rel. So you make it law enforcement sensitive, unclassified law enforcement sensitive, releasable to National Guard, releasable to local police, releasable to whoever you want. So why isn't the FBI doing their jobs? Barr said he wanted the JTTFs, the Joint Terrorism Task Forces, in every major city to be going after these anarchists and going after these rioters and these organizers. So why hasn't it happened? We saw it happen with Portland and Michael Forrest Reinhold. We did see it happen there. But that was only after the fact of the warrant. But you notice that they knew beforehand exactly where he was. And they were waiting they had him under surveillance for a full day before they had that warrant, and then they moved. They already knew. They knew exactly who it was. And this is the thing. This is why the problem is with leadership. The problem is with leadership of politicians and the lack of leadership because they are politicians, right? They have a lack of leadership. Because the guy's on the ground, the guy's doing the work, the guy's doing the job. They understand it, they get it, they can do it. They want to do it. They want to be able to do their jobs. So let them do their jobs. You've got to find someone who wants that job and can do that job. Because how else are you going to keep doing this? How else are you going to keep doing this? How else are you going to keep doing this, right? Where does this go? Where does this lead? Who's going to want to be a police officer in 5 years if this continues? Who's going to want to get? Who's going to recruit? Right? Who are they going to recruit to be new police officers to be the new blood? Right? Think these things through. Think about the secondary and tertiary effects of these actions. Right? We're already getting blue flus. Right? What's a blue flu? That's when people call out. That's when cops call out. This is not going to work. If you would, and I'm sorry to say this, but and I feel terrible. I feel terrible for the family of Breonna Taylor. I really do. But if you would charge those officers for her death, you would have had the entire police force of Louisville walk off the job. Because what happened in that situation, the fact the media did not bring this up very much, is that they came under fire and they responded to that. They came under fire and they responded. Right? And that sucks. That's a terrible situation. That's an awful situation, right? But when you're talking about it from a legal perspective, it's not murder. When you're talking about it from a legal perspective, it's not murder. And you have to say that. It's not, I know it's not popular to say that. And I know it's not, in line with a lot of public opinion to say that. And the family did get $12 million. Right? And I don't think a single one of those officers intended to kill anybody when they were serving that warrant. Right? But they came under fire. And if you criminalize police defending themselves when they're under fire, then you're going to end up with a situation where nobody wants to be cops. Or the only type of people that want to be cops are like the ones that want to get into those type of situations. And you don't want those kind of people being cops, right? You want to screen people out. You don't want people that are hotheads. You don't want people that have got those itchy trigger fingers being police officers, right? You don't want that. You want to screen that out. You want higher quality police officers in general. But if you start criminalizing basic police work, and if you want to criminalize, right? If you want to criminalize police defending themselves when they come under fire, think about the secondary actions. Think about the tertiary actions of that. And that's it. That's everybody is talking about all these other different things that happen, but you got to put yourself in that perspective. They knocked on the door, they came under fire. They knocked on the door, they came under fire. That's it. That's it. And that's the end of the situation. That's the end of the situation. Someone just said the boyfriend didn't break the law. He shot at police officers. Definitely against the law to shoot police officers. Right, and it was a lie that they didn't knock. Yeah, there was this huge media narrative. And it's a tragedy. Of course it's a tragedy. Absolutely a tragedy. My heart goes out to the family. As a Christian, I pray for their family. And I pray for the soul of Breonna Taylor. I hope that she's in heaven. I hope that she has found God through Christ and has made her way to heaven as her soul. I really do. I truly do. But the lies that have been told about this are sinful as well. The lies that have been told about these police officers led to this situation. Do you understand that? Okay, do you guys understand how that works? Because the media lied, to the people of Louisville and the people of this country about the Breonna Taylor situation, now you've got a whole set of people that are upset about what happened because they didn't know the facts, because they didn't have the truth. They were lied about no knock. There was a knock. That was a lie. They lied when they said that the police bust in and started shooting. That was a lie. The police were outside, they did knock, and they drew fire first. The boyfriend fired from inside first. So that was a lie. But if you had told the truth from the start, will people have understood and be as mad as they are now, and would more police officers be dead? Or excuse me, I should say shot. And that's where I say, excuse me. I said, let me correct myself. Look, I'm on live stream here. But if I catch something, I'm going to say it. Would more police officers be shot tonight, again, if the media hadn't spread so many lies about Breonna Taylor? Who inspires this? Who inspires this? That is where we need to start asking the questions. Who inspires this? Or do you say, when there's a criminal situation, we need to collect all the evidence first before we make our judgments, before we make our reactions? Uncover all the evidence, not circumstantial evidence, not rumor, not innuendo, all the evidence available. There are always two sides to every story. Everything is a he said, she said. We live in a world with incredible technology at our fingertips. Technology that would seem magical to our ancestors. So you go back to 1776 and showed the founding fathers the technology that we have right now, or started describing the technology that we had right now, they wouldn't believe you. Let's use that for good rather than outrage and anger. Let's use it for sharing, for conversing, for talking about how we can move our country forward, moving our country forward in unity, not in anger, not in revolutions, but in truth and in unity. And I'm not talking about like the elections. This is so beyond just any election, right? I'm talking about how we move forward as a person. Because one way or another, we're going to have Republicans and Democrat presidents. We're going to have another president eventually someday. We're going to have other senators, other congressmen, Supreme Court. All that stuff changes. All that stuff changes. All that stuff changes. I'm talking about who we are as a people and what we are as a society. I want to be living in a type of society where we treat everyone fairly, regardless of your skin color, regardless of your income, regardless of how much money you have in the bank, how big your house is, what kind of car you drive, right? I think we should treat everyone fairly. And I'm going to teach my family that. I'm going to teach my kids that. You don't judge a person based on that. You judge them based on their actions. You judge them based on their actions. You don't judge them by all those things. And when someone's been accused of something, you take that seriously. Take that very seriously. And you don't make false accusations. This is actually, for Christians, this is a commandment. Thou shalt not bear false witness. We are commanded. We are commanded to not bear false witness. It's not a suggestion. It's a commandment. Directly commanded. So I'm going to leave it at that. Chris Wray, gotta go. I don't know you. I don't know you from Adam, but you're not the man for the job. It's as simple as that. Ladies and gentlemen. Real quick, I don't know the full situation on this, but somebody did mention, and I saw on Twitter earlier, that Dan Bongino, who's someone that I consider a colleague, I don't really know him well enough to consider him a friend, but I consider him a colleague. That he has a medical situation. Again, I don't know all the details of that, but please, please say a prayer for Dan Bongino. He's an incredible patriot. He's out there every day in the trenches. He loves our country. He truly loves his fellow men and women. So please pray for him and just lift him up. Just lift him up in prayer. And I do believe that that prayer works. I do. So best wishes for him, best wishes for his family, his young family, and Carpe Donkem's on there. Yeah, Carpe Donkem is someone else that we're pulling for right now. His legal fund is out there. So go check out Carpe Donkem if you're someone who has laughed at Carpe's memes. If you're someone who has just appreciated what he brings to the table, understand that of course Carpe is going through some stuff. He's being sued. There's a CNN lawsuit that's going on with him right now. He's been named along with our president, along with the president's campaign, and go give Carpe some love. He could use some direct help, so help him out. I think that's all I've got for tonight. I know other people want to talk, so I'm going to pop off the Periscope for now. But it's Jack Posobiec, traveling right now. I'm in Florida. I'm in Jacksonville. I'll be at the rally tomorrow. If anyone's there, come check it out. Come say hi. I'll be there all day. And so, as always, ladies and gentlemen, you have my permission to lay ashore and fire Chris Wray.